Everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be the It's Finally Fall book tag, which, I mean, technically it's later this week, but like, it kind of just shows how excited I am about fall. Hopefully you are too. I feel like I'm in the mood right now. My neighbor's tree is changing color. I'm wearing a sweater, even a blanket, because it's like 12 degrees Celsius right now outside. So I'm ready. We're going to chat about books and then about a few of the knickknacks, and let's get to it. I'm going to put most of the books on the screen because I'm still in the middle of reorganizing my bookshelves, so things are a little chaotic, but we're going to still participate. So question number 1. In fall, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. Okay, I had to. I just read it, so I do have it here. Babel. Come on. Anything that is dark academia in September? Absolutely. Actually just did a whole video about all the dark academia books that I have read, the ones I recommend, the ones I didn't care for, but you know, just because I didn't love them doesn't mean you're gonna feel the same. And then a couple that are on my TBR for hopefully the upcoming weeks. So Babel, definitely. The first like 300 pages are like heavy on the whole dark academia vibes. I am loving anyone having to study university setting, and I feel like the setting in this one is really, really good. It's definitely heavy on the like learning languages because it's the theme of the book. But if you enjoy it, if you enjoy that, you're going to enjoy it. I feel like the main complaint I've heard is people saying that it feels like you're following like a university class, which I loved it. So heavy on a setting, but that's what I like. I just feel like the timing is perfect since I just did a video on the topic. So yes, definitely dark academia, anything. Question number 2. Nature is beautiful, but also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written, but also deals with a heavy topic like loss or grief. So I have 2. One nonfiction, one fiction. Let's start with fiction. Beach read, which I read this summer. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a fun summer beach read, but everyone warned me, so I was prepared. But it definitely deals with grief quite heavily. The main character is like a hopeless romantic. Her father just died, and she had always admired their relationship, her mom and dad, and she learns that her father cheated on her mom. So it shatters her whole worldview, and then she has to deal with the grief, these complicated feelings, but she also has to write a book ASAP, and then there's a sexy neighbor. So I actually really enjoyed it. I'm not a huge romance person, but if more romance books were like this, like it felt very mature, like no miscommunication trope or something. No, just talk. And they did. So I liked it. As far as the nonfiction, I just read, listened to, I should say, I'm Glad My Mom Died, which everyone has been talking about. That title, I mean, eye-catching for sure. And it's main character, the author was a famous Disney actor. And I didn't grow up watching her because I only spoke French, and I don't think it was translated at the time, or at least I never saw the show. But I still thought it was super interesting. Obviously had to deal with her mom's death, but also her childhood, her whole, basically how her mom affected her life as a child actor, but like her relationship with herself, food, and just people in general. So I do recommend it. Obviously some trigger warning for disordered eating, but this was good. Definitely a heavy topic. But it's dealt with in like a light way. So I still felt like it was fun. I don't know if it's the best way of describing it, but it was great. Question number 3. Fall is back to school season. Sharing nonfiction that taught you something new. It is one of my challenges this year to read more nonfiction, and usually I read about maybe 10 a year, which is like 10%-ish of my reading. This year, I've done really well so far. I kind of slowed down a little bit in the last couple of months, but so far I believe I have finished 27 nonfiction. Who am I? But I really enjoyed myself. A lot of them were fantastic. One that I think is the most like light and fun, but also on theme for fall, I feel like, would be A Taste for Poison, 11 Deadly Molecules and the Killers Who Used Them. The title is kind of self-explanatory. You go through 11 different poisons and how they were used and like how they work. I just think even though it's like a heavy topic, it's dealt with in a really entertaining way and kind of light. Like it's very beginner friendly for nonfiction. So if you're trying to, you know, dip your toe into nonfiction and you're someone that really enjoys like murder podcasts, like the crime ones, I think you would really enjoy this one. So highly recommend it. I really enjoyed it. I listened to it as an audiobook and it was a pretty quick listen. I think it's about 300 pages. So fantastic. As far as learning something new, I don't know. But it works. The team, fall, poisons, right? Question number 4. In order to keep warm, it's good to spend some time with the people we love. Name a fictional family, household, friend group that you'd like to be part of. I don't read a ton of wholesome books, but I found a couple this year that I really enjoyed. The main one being Legends and Lattes, which the physical copy is only coming out, I think, in November in Canada. I don't understand why, but I will be getting my hands on it because I absolutely adore this. You're following an orc who was a mercenary, you know, killer for hire? How do you pronounce that? killer for hire. Anyway, she's tired of her life, so she has been saving money and she buys a coffee shop. She starts a coffee shop mainly, so people don't even know what coffee is, and she just starts it, and then she kind of makes friends and like hires people, and it's great. It's definitely just a vibe. It's very character driven, but I absolutely adored it. I would love working there or just going there. The good news is that the author actually signed a 2 books deal, so he's coming out with a second one soon enough, hopefully, in the same city. You're not following necessarily the same characters, but like it's the same town, so I'm really excited about that too. Question number 5. The colorful leaves are piling up on the ground. Show us a pile of fall colored spines. So not ideal at the moment. I do have like the remnant of my rainbow shelf there, but I decided to grab one book that I just bought. You're gonna see it in an upcoming book haul, but look at that spine. This screams fall for me. I'm a big fan of like mustard ochre kind of color, and that's kind of on the orange side, but still. So this screams fall. It's probably the most fall spine I own, and it's Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. I didn't own book 1 in a pretty edition, so now I do. But yes, that's my perfect example. I'm sorry, that's the one question I couldn't really do, but yeah, you can see. I feel like some of these are kind of fall-ish, maybe. Sorry. Okay, number 6. Fall is the perfect time for some storytelling by the fireside. Share a book where somebody's telling a story. That's why I also wanted to grab it, because this one, book 1 and book 2, Parable of the Talents. One of the best book series that I've read this year, easily. It's kind of post-apocalyptic, but there's no like sci-fi, or like I should say fantasy elements. It's just a slow crumbling of society, and you're following the story through the eyes of the main character, who writes a lot of like journal entries. In book 2, you're following the story through someone else's eyes too at one point, and again, it's mostly journal entries. So I feel like it's storytelling quite a bit, but easily one of the best book series I have read. Super difficult to read. Basically, she's trying to start her own community to, you know, salvage what she can from humanity. She kind of starts her own religion. I wasn't sold on it after book 1. It was like a 4 stars, but book 2, easy 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. Super tough read though, some trigger warnings, but so good, so good. 7, the nights are getting darker. Share a dark, creepy read. I have 2 that I have read so far this year that were fantastic. I hadn't been very lucky with horror books. I felt like they were just kind of meh. They didn't scare me, or the ending was left open, which I hate. But I have 2 really good ones. The first one is Into the Deep, which Killer Mermaids. That's the quick summary. Killer Mermaids. An entertainment, business, films, movies, like mockumentaries, so like about the Loch Ness monster, that kind of stuff, like not real things. And they tried to do one about mermaids, but turns out mermaids are real, and they just killed everyone on the boat. And then like 7 years later decide to go again, but they're, you know, they're ready this time with guns. And turns out mermaids were still hungry. It was actually really good. Like, it sounds like it's gonna be like ridiculous, but it was actually really, really good. Would recommend. Will make you uncomfortable for sure. And the other one is Dead Silence, which this one is like a sci-fi horror. People that were done with their mission in space, they see a spaceship that disappeared a year prior that contained a bunch of like rich and famous people. So they decide to go explore, figure out what happened, because nobody knows. And things happen. Very, very creepy. You do get an answer at the end. I'm not going to say what, but you get an answer, which finally. So 2 horror books that I actually really enjoyed this year. Would recommend either of them. It's actually really fun to chat about books surrounded by books and some tea. Perfect fall day, even though it's not fall yet. Number 8, the days are getting colder. Name a short, heartwarming read that could warm somebody's cold, rainy day. Okay, The Monk and Robot Duology by Becky Chambers. I read book 2 this year, which was A Prayer for the Crown Child. It's 140 pages, and I think it was even better than book 1. Book 1, you're following a monk that's trying to figure out a meaning for their life, and they meet a robot in a society where one day a robot left us. They want nothing to do with us, so like they don't know what robots are like, and they kind of strike up a friendship. And book 2 is like the following of that, and super character driven, so like I'm not spoiling anything by saying any of that. And I laughed a couple times. I don't laugh super often when I read books like out loud, but this one I definitely like snorted, like, you know what I mean. It was great. It was great, and super pretty cover too. Kind of fall colors-ish, maybe. But yes, I highly recommend this duology if you're trying to get a little bit into sci-fi, but like you're really scared of it. This one is like super chill. Absolutely loved it. So I will continue to annoy everyone about Becky Chambers all the time, but this one is great. Question number 9. Fall returns every year. Name an old favorite that you'd like to return to soon. Okay, I don't reread pretty much ever. However, I'm cheating a little bit. When do I not in a book tag? I feel like it wouldn't count if I didn't. I want to continue the Stormlight Archive series by Brandon Sanderson though. So like book 3 needs to happen this year. I had told myself it would happen this year because book 5 was supposed to come out next year, but it's been pushed back 1 year, so there's no stress, but I still would like to start book 3 this year. It needs to happen. I don't know where it is right now. Actually, it's right at the bottom of this one, so I'm not gonna grab it, but I've been dying to continue. I absolutely adored book 1. Book 2 was awesome. Even better than book 1. So yes, I'm looking forward to going back into the world. I haven't read much Brandon Sanderson lately, so I'm way overdue. So before the end of the year. And number 10, fall is the perfect time for cozy reading nights. Share your favorite cozy reading accessories. Like I was saying, tea, for sure. I am obsessed with mushrooms at the moment. Who is not? I've been eyeing actually this mug too. I feel like I just want to hoard them. I'm trying not to like spend too much money because I'm renovating, like I was saying, I'm transforming the bedroom into a library. So that's where the money's going. But mugs, tea. What's your favorite kind of tea? Because I'm very much a mint or like ginger lemon or cinnamon, usually. Currently it's like herbal tea, hibiscus, and it's pink. So I mean, can you see? It's pink. So of course I want that. A good candle. Who doesn't like a good candle? My favorite ones from Bath & Body Works. I feel like everyone knows what they smell like. Autumn. I've been hoarding this one. This is my last one. I've been trying to like finish every candle I own before buying another one. And this is my favorite scent by far. So I'm like trying not to finish it because it's my last one. This is the best scent that Bath & Body Works has ever come out with. I would argue to death about it. I'm not a big fan of like the really sickly sweet ones. This one smells like you're outside with some apples, which is my happy place. So this one, by far my favorite one. I know a lot of people really like the mahogany teakwood one, the one that smells like a sexy man. I would recommend checking out mahogany apple, which is like the sexy man eating an apple, which is also a favorite of mine. It smells a little bit more musky, but the apples are just, they need to be there. They need to be there. Also, and lastly, a heated blanket. I have one, it's in my basement. I haven't brought it out yet because I'm hoping it's not gonna get too cold too quickly. That's the only thing about fall. I don't like winter, so like when it arrives, I'm like, oh, it's pretty, but then it's like, oh no, winter arrives. I'm in Canada, so it's like, it's serious business. But heating blanket, if you don't have one, it saves my life every year. This was the It's Finally Fall book tag. Please let in the comment section your answers to these questions, and I will be putting on the screen the video I said about Dark Academia books because you need that. And if you would like to see a book haul, I'll post my last one right here, and I will see you in an upcoming video very soon. Bye.